Hey guys, I've been out for several weeks, so I have no idea what we've been doing here. Anyone want to get us
Okay.
going?
You're muted.
So last week only Kira and me were here. Oh, nothing happened there. I don't know about the weeks before. Silence. I have a topic. I've posted a link to my repository. Which can test the Rook orchestrator in a Terraform environment.
Sorry, what's Terraform?
It's about setting up virtual machines. I'm using Terraform to set up 3 virtual machines and then deploying a cluster, a Kubernetes cluster, and then deploying Rook, and then deploying Ceph cluster, and then executing some code there. And I have no idea how to integrate that into anything, or if it even makes sense to integrate that.
Yeah, so right now we don't have anything that, well, I guess it's doing all the deployment from into VMs. So the only thing we have in the upstream right now that works that way is the Jenkins stuff that runs on pull requests.
Hmm.
I mean, they're not teeny. I don't know how long do these tests usually take, like how much machine time? 'Cause
On at least on my laptop, they take about 5 minutes.
Yeah, so if you actually want, and since they're PyTest based, that's probably, I think the others are too. Um, then you would want to set them up the same way the set volume tests are.
Yeah, maybe.
Um, and those just like trigger on PRs and run inside of our Jenkins slave systems. So Alfredo created that system, and I think, well, probably David Galloway actually administers the Jenkins nodes, but Alfredo, I think it's done a lot with the Jenkins setup too. So you might ask him about the best way to get that running inside of the Jenkins, and you could trigger it on anything that touches the manager directory or something. Um,
I wouldn't call it automatically. It would be some kind of,
or off of
yeah,
a
maybe
trigger request.
orchestrator
Yeah,
pull request that are tagged with orchestrator.
yeah. Um, I mean, because for Teuthology, like it anything that does its own machine setup isn't gonna work in Teuthology very well right now. Doesn't mean it couldn't be integrated, but there aren't any patterns or systems for it. Um, so
Another way would be to just wait for your Rook integration into Tautology
yeah,
itself.
yeah, but then it needs to rewrite the test to do that.
Actually, I think the tests are quite neutral with
Just
respect to how it is deployed.
Yeah, yeah. So I hope to have some more news about that next week. Not
Hello, can you hear me?
not anything deployable, but useful news to talk about. Um, but I'm not sure how fast it'll be. And the other thing that's nice about being in Jenkins is that it's there and it's fast. Um, because it just happens
Oh,
on PRs and you can look at the results without having to dig through a subsuite or anything.
Yeah, that
Results.
sounds good.
Um, Not that I want to discourage people from getting some duology because there are other problems with not being integrated, but if you have it already running in a deployment like this, then I would definitely like to be in the PR pipeline, and I would like more of the duology stuff to be in the PR pipeline, or well, not in the pipeline, but reporting back there. So,
Okay, then let's go the
yep,
Jenkins step. Then let's go integrating it into Jenkins.
yeah.
Yuri or Kir, someone wanted to say something.
Are you asking or just saying?
hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, finally.
Can you hear
So,
me?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
have I interrupted someone? Just sorry. Go ahead.
No, I think we are done with that thing.
I missed almost everything, but anyway, I had another question to discuss. So now I'm able to run dummy suites for Ubuntu at the moment for the methodology that I deployed to that I'm able to deploy on branch basis to OVH, and I can schedule a, a dummy test on Ubuntu. I was trying to run also Smoke Suite for Mimic, etc., and it seems like only Ubuntu works for me, and I need to figure out that the for make it running for CentOS, I need to cook somehow the images. So vanilla images are not working for CentOS, and they will work only for Ubuntu. And the next question is which kind of smoke we can use for validation of the changes for testing tautology on PR basis. Of course, we need a new patch to make it possible to deploy tautology from the PR branches. They are not supported yet on tautology itself. So, what do you think? I already asked it in the channel, but maybe we can discuss it now.
Sorry, so you're deploying onto CentOS and OVH and it doesn't work. Do you know if it's missing packages or what's the failure mode?
So, regarding CentOS images, as David said, we need to run a several roles. So my next plan is to try some roles like target role for Ceph Ansible in order
Okay.
to prepare images. But the vanilla image, he said that vanilla images does not work with tautology. So, and I can confirm that they are not working indeed. Yes, but my question was, which suite should we run for tautology if PR are working as a system test for tautology PRs? Do you understand what I'm saying about them?
You're asking which suite you want to run for tautology itself.
So right now we run unit tests and functional tests for each PR in Jenkins. They're scheduled automatically. My effort is about to for each changes that we are going to validate in PR, we can deploy tautology with those changes to OpenStack and then run some suite, some basic functionality. One of them I see it's a smoke suite that is in which you showed me that they're grown up. Some jobs are regularly running.
I think I know what you're talking about. But I'm not 100% sure, but you probably can take a look at this suite. It's called tautology.
I've looked at this. I think it's the tautology suite is just running the tautology, and it's running the same thing that it's tries to run a Pi 27 integration target via TOX, which is not like covering anything from functionality of allocating nodes for the cluster, or running some basic tasks like installing some standard some Ceph.
Yeah, I would probably run the smoke suite. Like there's stuff it doesn't do in the tasks, but I think it probably will cover the tautology code base pretty well.
Yeah, one of the requirements, we need a suite which should be, and the version of Ceph that should be 100% working. So it should be green and free from side errors not related to tautology. So to make sure that we're testing not the Ceph, but we're testing the tautology functionality itself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think what that means is just like finding a SHA-1 of Ceph. Ooh, except that we don't keep the repositories around all the time for forever.
Yeah, it's another thing that I was
Yeah,
thinking about. Which SHA is, let's say, can we be sure that some particular SHA be always passing?
Yeah, we're not set up for that really because we don't keep all the, like when we do a developer test build, you keep it for 7 days or something, not permanently. And I don't know if we have a system for persisting those. So maybe, I don't know, like actually now that I'm looking at the smoke suite, it fails a lot more often than I would expect, which I'm confused about. Um, but maybe if you ran that suite against like Luminous or Nautilus, it would be passing all the time. I don't know. Um, but I mean, for now, I don't think we have anything that passes 100%. You'd have to construct one just because whenever anything passes all the time, we add a new test. Generally speaking.
It's actually a good idea. I probably will try it. I actually don't know why we don't run smoke on name branches.
Yeah, so our action items is for this question is like you can enable or just running smoke with for named branches, right? And see what we have.
I can't. Yeah, I can enable that. I think what I can do before doing enabling, I'm about to start Nautilus point next point, and I'll see how it behaves on Nautilus, and then maybe I'll ask somebody whether we want to enable them on all branches, because I want to be resistant in terms of adding like more runs into something that we don't need. If we had a system when, I think if I understood Greg correctly, like say you run smoke, and if passes you do nothing, and then if it doesn't pass you invoke like larger suites, that would be pretty cool, but we don't have it.
Well, so let's try this out, and I probably will look at the smoke running Nautilus for my setups and see what how can I run it. But is it supposed for Ubuntu passing or
So
CentOS?
so the way we have smoke set up right now. I'm looking at it right now. So we actually run it against master only, and we do some filtering. So for example, we run smoke on master on Ubuntu Trusty, and then we run on RHEL 7.5 and 7.4. And then we run, I think, without any, we run on CentOS as well, 7.4. And then we run on OVH without any filters. So we're trying to kind of like do separate runs per distro. Let me try to run it on, Nautilus and Mimic. That's interesting to see how they behave.
Okay. So my next plan is to try and set up daily running for deployment tautology and running smokes for smoke suites, I mean, or against the tautology master on Ceph.
So you want to add it into nightly mix?
Yeah, but I will run on our infrastructure for the first time on Suzy.
Okay. Let me know when you want to do it.
Yeah, and as soon as I have some, because I'm running on our OVH, and I absolutely don't know how to integrate it into CPL app, or just I don't know, probably someone else help required for me to migrate this testing, or I will find out, or we can use in the future our infrastructure, our OpenStack for testing tautology pairs. The Nox, sweet, and okay. What else? Yeah, and I will look into CentOS. CentOS image.
Yeah.
Cool. Any other
Which
questions?
other platforms should we run against? It's CentOS and Ubuntu, and of course, I mean OpenSUSE is on my responsibility. But what else is?
Those are the
Does
only
it?
two we use upstream right now. There's an email thread on, I think, CPO list that's going on right now about adding Debian in, but
I also saw how, but I don't actually know how do you prepare those images and where
yeah,
repos do
well,
you take,
yeah,
because
that's not done yet. That it's um oh, sorry, it's on the Ceph maintainers list. So Paul Emmerich is one of the guys that, I don't know how to say their name. I think it's Crowit.io. So they're on the Ceph board, and I think they're a Ceph consultancy. So they do Debian support, which is why they're working on it. But
Debian.
no one else has done it yet. So that may come someday, but otherwise it's just Ubuntu and CentOS.
Yeah, the next question, as soon as we have a smoke running regularly and then have it on PR, probably we can look into the fastest. If the smoke suite includes the fastest version of some test, or I don't know. So, I mean, if we use this deployment test for tautology for PRs, we of course we want to be them past. I mean, take the time as less as possible. So it should be the fast enough for for get the feedback to the submitter. Does it make sense? Or
Yeah, I don't know what the runtime is on that suite. I don't think it's very long though.
Which suite? I'm sorry, I missed it.
The smoke suite, how long does it take to run?
It's not too long. I'm
uh,
actually doing right now Mimic, and then I'll see if I can do Nautilus as well, so we can take a look.
so my run for the smoke was like only one of the test case. One of the Ubuntu was passing, but another one like required some dependencies like make, etc. So probably it's Ubuntu in general will require some cooking as well. to run Ceph Ansible and store these images. But I'm wondering if we can try and use some kind of automatic Ceph Ansible running for images if they are absent in OVH, because for example on all the backend, on OpenSUSE or on OpenStack backend, which is CLI, the tautology OpenStack was downloading and submitting the image, corresponding image, to the OpenStack. So do we want similar thing for upstream for libcloud? For example, I found this pretty useful.
I'm not sure I understood what you meant with that image management gear, but I think you spent way more time with it than anyone else, so if you find something useful, you probably want to keep doing it.
Okay. To make it more clear, just so if you run on some OpenStack, when you deploy tautology to some OpenStack region, they have many or new OpenStack, they obviously do not have those images which are used for targets. So, and if you try to schedule any suite on this new setup, it will be failing because the tautology will not find an image to start the target service. And what I was saying that in that libcloud version does not create any images, doesn't download them and submit it. In comparison, the OpenStack, tautology OpenStack was doing it at runtime. So no administrators required for preparing those images and submitting it, and just that tautology was doing it for you. But libcloud doesn't do this right now. And my suggestion is implement this functionality to like download CentOS image, pin up a server, run Ceph DM roles on it, snapshot it, and and create image from this snapshot. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think any of us have any ideas, so sounds good if you like it.
Well, do we have any other topics to discuss?
Sounds like that's it. Thanks, guys. See you next week.
Thank you.
Or ping me when you need to, do anything on that smoke, all right? And we will do it.
Okay. Thanks.
And I pasted like runs of smoke right now, so we see
Oh,
how it
can
goes.
will disappear. Let me grab it.
If you open if you open the Pulpito queue, they will be on the top under my name.
You guys.
All right.
Okay.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.